this is hilarious, guys. Cenk's going to make an attempt here to kind of unite the left and the right behind the policy of paid maternity leave, which is a very just cause. And I appreciate what Cenk tries to do here. Unfortunately, what is exposed is that these right wingers, people like Patrick, are basically impossible to work with on this front because all they care about is the culture war. And you're about to see that illustrated pretty hilariously.
Crazy, but who could have seen that coming, right? Republicans only caring about the culture war. What
was good, very helpful. Did you have one other? You said you had one other thing.
Yeah, one other thing is, look, guys, I'm curious. I'm genuinely super curious what you guys think. Look, I've kind of given up on Congress. I tried the inside strategy. I tried to help Bernie. I formed Justice Democrats. We got 11 folks in Congress now, but they just won't do it. They won't pass any laws that Americans care about. And by the way, the culture wars makes everybody rich. And so the right wing loves the culture wars. The left wing loves the culture wars. The country hates the culture wars, and the country gets nothing because of the culture wars. So what I want to do is ask right wing shows, left wing shows, and every show in the middle, can we unite on any policy? Because everybody says that the country is divided, hopelessly divided. I know that isn't true. We are hopelessly divided on some issues, race, gender, etc. But we are not divided on economic issues. So maybe this is the best show to come on to ask for this. Maybe this is the worst show. I don't know. You tell me. But paid family leave polls at 84%. 3/4 of Republican voters say, yes, I want moms to have a break after they deliver their children. Okay. So can we push from the outside? Can the right wing and left wing go, yeah, we agree on this. Forget everything else. We hate each other on everything else. But we agree on this. Give moms a break. Okay. Give them 12 weeks off after they deliver. That's pro-mom, pro-conservative, pro-life, right? It's also pro-progressive. We all agree. Can we push from the outside and say, God damn it, you do your stupid Hunter Biden investigations or your brilliant Hunter Biden investigations, whatever you want. But as you're doing all of that, can you just give us one bill? Paid family leave. Moms get 12 weeks off. In Estonia, they get 82 weeks off. In Sweden, they get 64 weeks off. In Japan, they get a whole year off. Why? Because they want to encourage people having kids. They want to encourage families. That's why 3/4 of Republicans agree. Now, why don't they do it if 84% of Americans want it? Because they're all corporatists. The corporate Republicans and the corporate Democrats take money from corporations. The only people in the country who don't want moms to get 12 weeks off are corporate interests. And they bribe all of our politicians. And that's why I've given up on the inside track. But I bet that if all of the shows on the outside, or enough of them, said, yes, paid family leave, God damn it, give them at least 12 weeks off, right? That maybe we could get it passed.
You know, this is so beautiful. I almost think that Aaron Sorkin wrote it for an episode of The West Wing that got shelved 30 fucking years ago. Because if this is the progressive, if this is the mainstream progressivism and this is the best we can do, this is the exact kind of arguments that the, like, you know, what's the guy's name? Like Josh in The West Wing, you know? One of these kinds of guys, an Aaron Sorkin creation. Like, can't we all just work together? And can't the Republicans just work together with the Democrats on things we agree on? And can't we just make this country great, pal? Man, that would be awesome. We all love this place. Hurrah! Yeah, except for the fact that you have zero political analysis if you think that this would ever fucking happen.
Where's this poll, the 84%? Do you know
any poll? You can look up any poll on paid family leave.
I just typed in right now. So if you can find it out. But
what is the current time?
Paid time, zero days
Wait,
off.
Zero.
Moms have to go back to the assembly line the day after they deliver.
That's
in America.
So, well, I didn't. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but Pete Buttigieg had a baby with his guy.
Exactly.
He got 3 months. Didn't he get 3 months?
Yeah, he got a month off. You know why?
How?
Because 24% of Americans get paid family leave. Only 24%. Everybody else in the world, 100% get it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Who are the 24%? All rich people.
Oh, wow.
All executives, all government officials, etc.
He got 3 months. Yeah.
So executives get 12 weeks off. That's standard fare. Okay. Mm-hmm. So as a company, we give 12 weeks off. But in the beginning, the standard was you give it to the executives. And we said, no, we're going to give it to everybody. And people are like, whoa, you're going to give it to everybody. That's crazy. Because it's in the corporate mindset that you don't do that for the average American. So average Americans, we all agree. We all agree. The media is lying. We don't disagree about everything. Let's go do this together. Let's go pass paid family leave. If we breathe don their necks and you guys breathe down their necks, they're gonna notice. Media controls
So
everything.
you asked a question. What can we agree on? Okay. Do me a favor. Pull up. It was 74% Republicans, 83 Independent, 94% Democrat. This is July 2018. Can you do me a favor? Let's see if we can agree on this. Pull up the Neil deGrasse Tyson video. Okay. Let's see if we can agree on this. So here's a clip. I want to know what you think about the scientist, what he's saying. Whether you and I can agree that this is absolutely ludicrous, or you may say, no, I think there's a point here. Go ahead and play this clip.
Point is, apparently, the XXXY chromosomes are insufficient because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice. Either the one you're assigned, the one you choose to be, whatever it is. And so now so now just to tie a bow on this.
So basically has nothing to say to Cenk's long-winded, impassioned plea for the left and right to work together and put the culture war aside in order to potentially unite on this one cause of, paid maternity leave. Immediately, without even responding, Patrick just goes, well, what do you think about this? And then starts playing some fucking, trans culture war stuff. I think it's just proof that the right wing is at this point a movement that exists to perpetuate the culture war. They're not concerned with making people's lives better. Cenk just pleaded with him, and to his credit, I totally agree with Cenk, and I wish that the left and the right wing could work together on a policy like that the majority of Americans support. But yeah, he literally just asked Patrick, can we work together? Can we please work together? I know we don't agree on culture war stuff. We're not going to agree on culture war stuff. Let's put it aside and unite on this issue. Patrick has nothing to say, immediately just goes right back to the culture war. And then later, he asked Cenk, well, you asked me if I think paid leave is reasonable. I have to ask you, do you think this is reasonable? Cenk says, yeah, I think it's reasonable. I think Neil's just, defending trans people's right to express themselves. And then Patrick's like, well, if you ask me to agree on this thing, but you can't even agree to this thing, then doesn't that make you a dictator? It's like, bro, Cenk literally asked you to put the culture war aside. He admitted and acknowledged that they weren't going to agree about it, that this stuff was so polarizing that we weren't going to find any common ground. He asked you to take it off the table so that you could unite on an economic issue, and that still was not enough. They're so obsessed with the fucking culture war. It's all they care about. And it's just mind-boggling to see.
Exactly. And Cenk wonders why we don't want to feed into this, right? Cenk wonders why we think it's horseshit when he feeds into this propaganda, because he doesn't understand that there is absolutely no working or dealing with these people. What's crazy about Cenk is I genuinely think he thought he was going to be able to have like a way more reasonable conversation with Patrick Bateman or whoever hosts this podcast, and then he would be with like any lefty, right? And then you'd have to be a complete idiot to think about that. While you were in the bathroom, Gavin, I was talking about how this like diatribe he was on was really beautiful. It was like Aaron Sorkin script. But you'd have to be Aaron Sorkin to believe that any Republican was ever going to buy that shit, right? Like I've watched The West Wing, bro. I understand, and I've also lived real life. The Republicans play hardball. Okay. You can't play on their heartstrings like that. They care about fucking money, dude, and culture war issues. So you want to talk about those things? Great. You want to cut taxes? Great. We'll talk about that all day. You want to bash whoever it's cool to bash right now and talk about how they're destroying America and what makes it great? Let's do that all day. Everything else, get fucked. I want to talk about this. That's what makes my audience clap like seals, player. That's where the red meat gets served to the lions.
Yep. And again, we've been endlessly critical of Cenk on the podcast, but if you see him in contrast with Patrick Bet David, it's like, at least Cenk is talking about issues that actually affect people's lives. At least he is still seemingly concerned with the economic hardships that are facing Americans, and he's trying to keep that central to his message. As much as I disagree with Cenk, as much as I think he's a narcissist and a hypocrite, obviously we've talked about the fucking union busting, so you could say that he's full of shit when he, talks about this stuff, but at least he's still making it central to his fucking message. With a guy like Patrick Bet David, and I watched the entire 2.5 hour long interview this morning. It's Hunter Biden, gender ideology. Look at this random book that I found in a school that shows a blowjob or something. Isn't this one school district crazy where this one thing is happening? What about trans athletes? It's like nothing that they talk about is important at all. It's all fucking culture war bullshit. The entire movement is fake. It's just about feeding the online outrage machine. Every time you see fucking conservatives talking about anything right now, they're not even talking about remotely important subject matters. Remotely. It's always like CRT, some niche weird example of some cringy lefty that they found on TikTok. It's never anything serious, and it's just fucking crazy to watch. Again, Cenk Uygur, someone that we constantly criticize, at least trying to still make paid family leave a policy that political commentators are pushing for, something that we could potentially unite behind, just to get shut down immediately, with the reality, the fucking truth of the matter being that the conservative movement is entirely unserious. And all they care about at this point is Donald Trump and the culture war.